Hey YouTube, what's going on? Malicious Intent here. I'm coming at you today with the new Rokket Revolt structure deck. We're gonna open one of these and go through all the cards that come in this thing. I think it was like $13 Canadian at my local OTS. So we'll get into that coming up next.
Never sleep again.
Alright, so here is the new Rokket Revolt structure deck. I don't care for the integrity of the box, so I'm just going to rip this to bits. We'll take a look at the new mat that you get with said structure deck. That's the new Fusion on the front, and I think that's the new Borrow Link monster. So that's nice. For those of you who don't have a mat, you're new to the game, you just play around with that, test that at home, but I suggest you get an actual mat. We're struggling. That's okay, though. It's well sealed. All right. We've broken through. All right, so the first card we have is the new Topological Zero Boros card. I'll just read these. I'll just read the new ones, not the old Rockets, or for what I know are the older Rockets. So this is a you cannot summon or set monsters to any extra zone this card points to. Gains 200 attack for each banished card. So if you summon this into your center monster zone, maybe you can move it with the card. I think it came in here. It did not. Once you make it in your extra zone to here, or maybe if you've already made something in your extra zone and you just have the extra resources to summon this Topological Zero Boros in your center monster zone after having a link monster arrow pointing to that zone at the top there. So a generic link 2, any generic link 2 would do. You got Lambda, you've got the new 2-or-1 Beat Cop of the Underworld, I think it's called. So if you get that in that zone, it blocks out these two extra monster zones. It makes it difficult for your opponent to summon from the extra deck. I'll read on. If another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, banish all cards on the field. So this is not bad. This thing just wrecks the field once you do summon something to a zone it points to. It's pretty good. So it's a complete board wipe. And the rest of the card reads, once per turn during your standby phase of your next turn, after this card was banished by its own effect, special summon this banished card. So that's a pretty good new topological monster. Then we have the new Borrowload Furious Dragon. Now this is a super poly target because it only takes 2 dark dragon monsters to make. So quick effect, you can target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one dark link monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. You can only use each of Borrowload Furious Dragon once per turn. Don't know why I'm having trouble saying that card. Then we have the new card specifically more geared towards rockets, the Quad Boral Dragon. This requires 2 dragon monsters, including a rocket monster. It's a link 2. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. You cannot special summon link 2 or lower monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Also destroy the targeted monster. So that's going to activate the rocket effect that activates when it's targeted. That's also going to activate the rest of the floating, usually on the end phase, rocket effects when they're destroyed by a card effect. So that's pretty good link too. Then we have my favorite rocket of the bunch, the Silver Rokket Dragon. This disrupts your opponent really well. It's when a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field. You could do that with the Quad Boral Dragon. Quick effect, you can destroy this card. Then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it during the end phase. If this card is in your graveyard because it was destroyed on the field and all rockets have this effect for the most part, during the end phase, if this card was destroyed because it was destroyed on the field by battle or by card effect and sent this turn, you can special summon one rocket monster from your deck except Silver Rocket. So again, I think all, if not most, of the rocket monsters have that effect, but this can look through your opponent's deck. It's a really good turn 1 card. Let's say you're playing against Sky Strikers, for example. You can look through their deck, banish their only copy of Kagari, and then you leave them at a disadvantage, especially if you've gone first. So Silver Rocket, really good, 4-star 19. Then we have the card, I probably only run 2 Silver Rockets in my deck. Then you have the card 4-star 16 Dark. They're all Dark Dragons. This one's a tuner. Quick effect. You can target one face-up card you control and destroy it. And if you do, special summon one rocket monster from your deck, except Rocket Tracer. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. Thankfully, most, if not all, of your extra decks should be dark monsters. The Guard Dragon package is 3 dark link monsters. Borolo, Boros Sword are dark monsters. If we go back and look at the new Zero Boros, also a dark. Furious, also a dark. Your Starving Venom and your Predaplant, if you choose to run the Super Poly, also darks. The entire extra deck is dark, except for maybe if you're running Saryuja, or if you're running Avramax, or if you're running a card I think would be really good in this deck, because there's going to be level 7s, is the new Blackluster Soldier. So that was Rocket Tracer. Then we have a card I'd probably run 2 of, Absoluter Dragon. This card reads, if you control a rocket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Absoluter Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 rocket monster from your deck to the hand. So that's just your Rhoda for the deck. It's pretty good. In terms of other new cards, I guess there's a few more. There is the card I was actually playing 1 of in Hakai's. I'll still keep 1 0-day blaster. Maybe I'll keep 2 of them, but this is good in Hakai, and it's good in this deck. It's tribute 1 dark link monster, then target cards on the field equal to its link rating and destroy them. So it's a good destroy 2 to 4 in Hakai. It's a good destroy 2 to 4 in this deck on your opponent's turn. Disrupt them, whatever you're going to do with that. Next, we have a Rocket Recharger. Not sure if this is new, but I'll give it a read anyways. If a dark monster or monsters you control that was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card from the hand or field to the graveyard, then target one of those destroyed monsters. Special summon 1 dark monster from your graveyard with a different original name from the targeted monster. You can only use the effective rocket once per turn. While you control a dark monster special summoned from the extra deck, your opponents cannot target this card for attacks. I'm not sure if I'd run that in a rocket deck, but it's still an option that you have. Explode Rocket Dragon, I'm pretty sure that one exists already, and I wouldn't run it in the deck. There's Checksum Dragon. This card reads, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then gain life points equal to half this card's defense, so you gain 1,200. This attack position card cannot be destroyed at battle. And I'm just going to read this one. I'm pretty sure this one exists already as well, but I'm just going to give this one a read because I would run 1 of these in my rocket deck as well. When a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card, then make 1 face-up monster in the field unable to attack. Also, it has effects negated. The reason why you only need to run 1 of a bunch of the copies of the rockets, like 1 of each of the different ones. Some of them you want to run multiple of, like the Tracer, and you're probably going to run maybe 1, maybe 2 silver rockets. It's because you can special summon from the deck and you can cycle them from the graveyard as well. But this one, I'd only run 1 of in my deck because it does negate the effect and you can recycle it in different ways. And then during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was destroyed in the field, rocket effect. Then we got Auto Rocket Dragon. I would run 1 of these as well in my deck. This one reads, when a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card. Then send 1 spell trap on the field to the graveyard. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect, rocket effect. Magna Rocket. I want 2 of these if I was going to play rockets. I think it comes ultra rare already. But again, because I play it in the deck, I'll give it a read. When a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card, then send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. So that's a non-targeting, I believe. You can show this card, then send 1 card on the field. Yeah, so that's a non-targeting spot removal, so not bad. And then rocket effect. I don't think I'd play Shell Rocket, and it existed already prior to this, but there's 1 Shell Rocket in this. I would play 1 Metal Rocket. So when a Link Monster's effect is activated, it targets this face-up card on the field. Quick effect, you can destroy this card, then destroy all your opponent's cards in the column this card was in. I may play one of these. I'm not sure. It's a good non-targeting spot removal. You could potentially get rid of 2 resources on your opponent's side of the field by targeting that with a Link Monster's effect. However, I just don't think that people will be at least at the regional level, I don't think they'll be stacking their columns for fear of Mech Knight players being present. Same in my locals. I think there's a Mech Knight player at my locals, so I do not believe I would be playing Metal Rocket. Rocket Synchron, this is a must one of in the deck, and it reads, when this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 level 5 or higher Dark Dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, negate its effects, destroy it during the end phase. So you can special summon Destrudo, you can special summon the Absol Rooter, you can special summon so many things. Dark Dragons in this deck. Then this comes with 1 Gateway Dragon. I might run 2 in the deck. This is just a simple free special summon. If your opponent controls a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this is a good going second card. You can only special summon Gateway Dragon once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower Dragon monster from your hand. So this is an easy Link 2. It can make your Booster Dragon, and it can also make your Quad Boral Dragon. This is Booster Dragon. Might as well read him now. So this Booster Dragon, I might run 1 of, or not at all, in the extra deck. It's a Link 2 Rocket Monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 other face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack and defense. So this will activate a lot of your Rocket Monsters, your 4-star or less Rocket Monsters effects. So your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. Nice, so they can't respond to that at least, but they will be able to respond to your Rocket that activates by being targeted by a Link monster. If this Link summon card is destroyed by battle or card effects into the graveyard, you can target 1 other Dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use this effect of Booster Dragon once per turn. So if you make multiple Booster Dragons, you can target multiple Rockets. Other than that, you can't only use the second effect once per turn. Defray Dragon, we all know what this is. I'd probably run 1 of these. Background Dragon, I wouldn't run that at all. There's a Labradite Dragon in there. I made for fun on Dueling Book a deck that drops 3 Leos, usually 2 Leos in 1 turn at 3100. They can only be targeted by card effects main phase 2. And Labradite Dragon is a big part of that deck. I've never seen it played in any competitive deck, however, but it's a decent 5-star Dark Dragon tuner monster, 2400 booty on it, 0 attack. There's a Paladin of Felgrand. It comes with a Dragon Knight of Creation. An old card there, Keeper of the Shrine. World Chalice Guard Dragon. I would play this if I'm playing the Ib Synchro Monster, and if I'm playing the Velociraptors, whatever the dinosaur monster is. Can't think of the name off the top of my head. But that dinosaur normal summon that you get an effect. You can special summon another 3 of those Velociraptors, 3 of the Fossil Digs, a Carbonera, I believe, and the Ib, the Synchro monster that adds a World Chalice monster. Adds a World Chalice spell trap, I believe. So I'd run this in that build at 1. This, for some reason, comes with a Raiden of the Lightsworn. Boral Supplier, I was considering running 1 of these. I don't think it's fast enough, but for those of you who would run 1 or 2, this is also a target for your Tracer. During each standby phase, if you control a Boral Link monster, you can target 1 Rocket monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. Then we have a Rapid Trigger. That's the fusion for the new Furious Dragon. It's a quick effect fusion card. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck by destroying fusion monsters listed on it from your field, but it can only attack monsters special summoned from the extra deck. Also is unaffected by activated effects. So you can bring out your Borreload Furious Dragon. You can bring out with this card Starving Venom Dragon, maybe even a Predaplant. You can do any of those 3 with your Rocket monsters, and you'd be able to get the effect off, but only be able to attack the special summon from the deck monsters. Then I would play 2 Squib Draw to speed the deck up. Target 1 Rocket monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw 2 cards. I think it was a secret rare before, and like an $8 or $10 card, so now it's common in the structure deck. That was nice. This was also a secret rare, but it now comes common. You need 3 of these in any build of Rocket, especially summon 1 Rocket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. Then it has Boot Sector Launch. I would play 3 of these if I wasn't playing the dinosaur build. In the dinosaur build, there's no room for the field spell, but I'll read it anyways. If you're wanting to play pure rockets, all rocket monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. You can activate one of these effects, special summon up to 2 rocket monsters with different names from your deck in defense position. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon rocket monsters with different names from your graveyard in defense position up to the difference. So that can just fill your field with rocket monsters. Let's say your opponent wipes out your field, builds a Break My Board, you can Boot Sector Launch into 4 to 5 rocket monsters. If you're going turn 2, or if you're going turn 3 and you almost have an empty field, you can definitely Boot Sector Launch and gain some control back, gain some traction back in that duel. They also have the Equip Card Boral Regenerator reprint. This comes with a Dragon Shrine, which I run 1 of, along with 1 Foolish Burial, and 1, if I'm doing the dinosaur build, 1 Dragon's Ravine, along with Tempest that just got unbanned. You don't run this, but Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. It comes with a return of the Dragon Lords as well, a copy of Polymerization. Surprisingly, a common copy of Twin Twisters, so that's really nice, of Konami. It also has Execute Protocols. It comes with a red reboot, so 3 structure decks gets you a set of red reboots. Now you can take down whatever trap decks, whether it be Altergeist or True Dracos, I guess, would also be a trap deck that you could side red reboots for. There's a few others as well that are meta-worthy. Link Turret. It comes with a Mirror Force and a Mirror Force Launch. Another reprint of Magic Cylinder, of course. Wouldn't be a structure deck without it. You get a common copy of Imperial Order, dropping the value down even further of all the Imperial Orders out there. I bought a DB1 for $10 like almost a year ago now, and it's now worth like $5. So thanks, common Imperial Order. I guess, again, for budget players, that's great that you now get a copy of the 1 of Imperial Order for your side deck. You wouldn't main it in this. You play far too many spells. You might not even side it in this deck because you play far too many spells if you have better side deck options. A common Boral Load Dragon. Now that is value in the extra deck. I'm sure this is worth $1 now, and I'm sure my CIBR Boral Load Dragon went from $12 to probably like $6 or $8 now because of this common reprint, but that's amazing for a budget player to be able to own 1 to 3 copies of Boral Load Dragon now. And finally, a card I actually don't own that is really good in the Rocket extra deck in either of the 2 builds I spoke about in this video. And the final card in the structure deck is Triple Burst Dragon. I'll show you why this. I'll just give this a read because you'll understand once you give this a read, if you don't already own this card, why it's so good for Rockets. So it's 2 monsters except tokens. It's a link 3. Once per turn during the damage step, when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. So that doesn't come up a lot, but the second and third effect would come up. If this card attacks the defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage, this can fuel your OTKs. And during your main phase, sorry, I keep moving this a lot. The turn this card with special summon, you contribute this card, then target 1 link 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Then you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower dragon monster from your hand. My dog's about to bark because there's a dog barking outside. Anyways, so you can special summon any level 4 or lower dragon monster from your hand, so that's going to be your rocket monsters. And also you tribute this card and special summon 1 of your either booster dragon or quad Boral Dragon, or if you're playing the dinosaur build, your extra deck would either have there's a few options. You can even do Akashic Magician if you really wanted to, but the better options are Lambda, especially if you want to side deck 3 Gammas and a Driver, or your Beat Cop. So that's it for the video. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it, tell all your Yu-Gi-Oh friends, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend, guys.